So I'm going to sub-assemble our expeller panel. I've got a few blocks here just to hold it up off the table so I can put the nuts and the bolts together. The expeller panel is a plastic. It's kind of a corrugated plastic, and it's got the seams of it are welded together, so it keeps it more biosecure to keep things clean. We want to keep the smoothest side for the bird side. So what you see of the weld on the seam is going to be away from the birds. We're going to put these 4 brackets on the back side away from the birds. There's a single row of holes down here at the bottom. We've got 3 holes up here at the top. So single hole, 3 holes. We're going to just lay those out roughly where they go. I'm going to start on what I would call the top side. So anywhere it's touching plastic, we want to put the washer on. I've got it together. We're going to push that through. We're going to just get our nut on it started. The last bolt will go in whenever the assembly goes into the nest. We're going to go ahead and get all 4 of these tops done. So I've got all of my top ones in. I'm going to spin that around just for my ease of convenience. So this piece is going to go on the bottom section. And again, all of this is the back side away from the birds towards the belt. We're going to take this and we want to point those fingers towards the birds. So we've got what some people refer to as our comb. It's going to point towards the birds when we slide it in here. We're just going to slide it in, and again, if it's got metal, we don't need the washer. If it's got plastic, it needs the washer. So this first one's going to be metal on metal, so we don't need the washer. The next one in is the bolt comes through. We're going to put our washer on, and then our nut. So anytime that the nut or the bolt is against plastic, we need the washer. And then I'm just going to do that on down the series here. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're going to flip it back over again. Once it's flipped over, you're going to take a nut driver and snug these up, but you don't want to compress the plastic, so you just want them good and snug but not super tight. And you're going to do that on all of the top and the bottom, and then you're just going to do that for every expeller panel. Okay, we are going to sub-assembly our leg section with our feet. We've got our bottom of our leg bracket to our foot. I'm just going to put the bolts through. Legs are identical end for end, so it does not matter which end you bolt it onto. We're going to just get our nuts on, and they go on the inside, as they will get in the way later on potentially if you put them on the other way. So we're going to do that. We're going to snug those up just a little bit. Okay, so we've got our bracket bolted on, and then I'm going to put our foot and our bolt together. This nut goes all the way down. Just going to finger tighten it all the way to the bottom. And the next one goes to about 1 inch from the bottom of the bolt. Then we go through and go ahead and screw that on just to the finger tight point, and that will be adjusted later on as we assemble the nest. Okay, so now that we've got all of our legs pre-assembled with our feet, we are going to attach our legs to our cross arm supports. We use a self-threading bolt. Okay, so I've got the one side on. I'm going to go ahead and get the other side going here. Again, using the self-threading screws or bolts. Now that we've got that side on, you've got to flip it over. And bolt the opposite side. Can be handy having a person on each side doing the process so it goes a little faster. Okay, we are going to do the sub-assembly for the nest pads and the wire floor bottoms. I've got the nest pad laying upside down on my table. We're going to bring our wire bottom in place. And okay, so basically is what I'm doing is I'm just getting a placement where our clips go. So you want to line up the wire on the bottom. The short side is the bottom. So you want to line that up with the edge of your nest pad. You're going to come up here. You're going to get a rough placement on which line you're going to use here. I am going to put a screwdriver in the holes just to mark where I want them at. So I'm keeping it pretty high on the nest pad for the first row of clips because that's where the main pressure is going to be, and then approximately in the center, and then the rest is just going to lay in place. The birds can't flip it up or anything. So I'm just going to slide this down a little bit. We're going to use this row as our top of the clip. So the clip has a slot that it slides onto. So we're going to come in approximately 4 inches. It's not an exact thing. You're just going to snap that into place. And then we're going to come in, you're going to do 2 rows of 4. So you're going to estimate it to be a quarter of the way in or so. If one of the holes that you need to use to push the pin in is not, it's full of plastic, you can take your screwdriver and just, don't use a super large screwdriver, but you can just poke through. It's not a big deal. You want to make sure you're following this line across. Okay, so now I've got both of my rows of clips in. I'm going to take our nest pad and our floor bottom. I'm going to flip it right side up, and then we just kind of set it into place. Once you put it in place, you just slide it down from the top down a little bit, and our clips will slide across the wires and hold it into place. Okay, so once you've got your nest pad clipped onto the floor bottom, that is complete at this point. You're just going to do this repeatedly over enough to have enough bottoms for your nest.